Hello, my name is Prakash. I'm the Senior Vice President and General Manager of our HANA Cloud Platform business for Platform as a Service. Let's talk about what digital transformation means. You can first start and rewind back to companies that actually were not digital, analog companies. You had companies that were record companies that had records, companies that were Blockbuster, where you actually had to go and get a video from a movie store. And you had companies that were automotive companies with cars. Now, if you take a look at these three different industries and three types of companies, what actually happened to them is in the area of records, things evolved to cassette tapes and eventually MP3s. And from MP3s, things got to the point at which no one wanted to travel with a ton of CDs or records. And that's why MP3s, to get them, became something that was somewhat illegal. Companies like Napster emerged for sharing illegal music. And eventually a company came along and legitimized it by creating a simple experience, and that company was Apple with iTunes. It's an industry that actually transformed to digital. Along the way, however, there was something that happened which was illegal, because what these companies didn't realize was a simple experience to consume music was more important than actually obeying the law. Not that people wanted to break the law, but the experience around easy is what won. The second thing that happened was companies like Blockbuster went through a similar transformation where things moved to companies like Netflix. Sure, leveraging modern technology was easier. Then you had companies in the automotive space, for example, taxis and how you get a car, where someone like Uber came along. And they actually made the experience around getting a taxi easier. You don't have to try to flag one in the cold in New York City. You drop a pin, get a taxi, pay for the receipt, all without having to worry about anything. And now they're making it easier by introducing Uber business receipts, so you can file your expenses immediately. This is what we mean by transforming to digital. And the first avenue on how you make that transformation is you focus on the experience. Easy wins. You need a digital experience that is grounded on simplicity. The second thing is you need connectivity. You need technology that allows you to connect. Mobile technology, for example, sensor technology. And lastly, you want to eliminate people having to make multiple choices, and you need recommendations, smart technology. The core tenets to digital require first focusing on experience, second focusing on connectivity, and third focusing on intelligence and recommendation. There's really two types of companies. These are companies that are digital natives. Now, what digital natives are companies that grew up leveraging modern technology. For example, Uber grew up in an era that was modern technology based. Everyone has a phone. Everyone can get a receipt on a phone. Everyone can submit the receipt. It's a modern company. Now, there's other companies that I would call are digital immigrants. And these are companies that grew up with 30, 40, 50 years of history when the technology available at the time didn't allow you to create the seamless digital experience of connected, easy-to-use experience with recommendations. However, these companies are the companies that are powering the world today. The company today, the gross GDP of the world, is largely these types of companies. These are newer companies. Now, the question is this: if you really believe digital transformation is real, how do these companies embark on these journeys? Companies that are digital natives are just growing up using modern technology that's available to them. It's easy because you start with a blank slate. No one's going to try to build a Blockbuster today. A lot of people trying to build Netflix competitive products like Amazon Video. In this world, however, you've got your legacy. You've got your systems and processes that are mission critical. How do you modernize to a digital experience? How do you take these assets and give them consumer-grade experience, modernize them to take advantage of connectivity, and make them smarter with recommendations and machine learning? Because you don't want to rewrite or redo everything that you've done in the history of all of your deployments. You want to leverage this. This is what we call two-phase IT, where you keep your stable and you drive innovation. You need a platform that allows bridging your stable and legacy systems, bringing them into a modern world that drives innovation across experience, across connectivity, and across analytics and smarts. For these companies, you're going to grow up and build applications that are just easy to use, that are consumer focused. These are digital natives. These are digital immigrants. Fundamentally, there's only room for these two types of companies in a digital future. The third company is the digital dinosaur. And the world's full of them, like Blockbuster, companies who refuse to adapt. So as you take a look around how you approach your path to digital, there's two ways to approach it. You can modernize what you have, or you can build new. And every project you look at should look at the world in this lens. Am I modernizing and leveraging what I got? Am I building new, or am I doing both? Now let's get into why technology is relevant to achieve these experiences, this connectivity, and recommendations. The current way you deal with technology, you say, okay, I need to get the technology to do this. That could be things like I need a database, and it could be things like I need an app server, and I need to build a mobile user experience or a web user experience. And it needs to connect to big data because I need to collect all this information off all these sensors. And before you know it, to actually solve one problem, you're 7 or 8 technology servers in. So this was a problem that we had many years ago in the database, where you had predictive database and planning database and transactional database and analytic database. And we said, there's a smarter way called HANA. Well, in application development, there's a smarter way. It's called HANA Cloud Platform, because by leveraging a cloud, we could actually bring together a set of technology services in one platform, whether they be user experience related, whether they be analytic, whether they be digital and IoT related, collaboration related, or integration related, such that all the technology that you need could be turned on or off to deliver an application. Instead of having to worry about this technology baggage, there's a smarter way with cloud. And the HANA Cloud Platform simplifies application development such that you can build experiences to your legacy applications or new native applications. You can ensure that you have connected applications, whether that's B2B connectivity, whether that's IoT connectivity, and that it's smart and analytical and making recommendations. In this video, we're going to talk about HANA Cloud Platform and its role in modernizing applications and building new applications, and how it's different than other competitors in the market. When you take a look at the capability we talked about, whether it be creating consumer-grade user experience or simple experiences, we talk about recommendations or doing smart analytics, whether we talk about connectivity with sensors or technology, whether we need to enable B2B or B2C collaboration, or whether we need to create an integrated enterprise, we have a set of capability in the platform, end-to-end, that allows you to eliminate your technology baggage. But we're not unique. Other companies have technology as well. What is unique with SAP is not only do we give you technology to modernize your application, we also allow you access to business process APIs from SAP, whether that be things like S4 and finance or back office transactions, whether that be in procurement with Ariba, whether that be in HR with SuccessFactors or contract workers with Fieldglass, or customer engagement and commerce, whether it be standard CRM or even omni-channel. We have the broadest end-to-end enterprise portfolio in enterprise transactions. But if it's non-SAP, we also can connect to non-SAP systems as well and allow you to leverage non-SAP data, whether it be social data, weather data, or even other application data like PeopleSoft or Workday, etc. We have the broadest integration and capability with enterprise data. And not only integration, this is not just look at it, but take action. What happens if a part breaks in that washing machine that I talked about? You could reorder that part in Ariba. You could go ahead and say, hey, now let's go ahead and check whether it's under warranty. Create a transaction for a customer service rep to call you. You could schedule a contract worker to come out from Fieldglass and fix it. We have all of these capabilities that other platform providers in the market do not provide. And when you take a look at these capabilities, only SAP can offer you integrated SAP support. Only SAP provisions this together with our cloud strategy overall. And we have integrated lifecycle management such that when you're doing this, you're not stitching it together. We provide you these APIs to do this today. And no competitor in the market that has a bucket of general purpose technology will allow you to do this. Because to do anything real, you actually need to talk to the digital core. And when we take a look at this individual capability, it will allow you to build new native digital apps, leveraging our digital core assets, leveraging our digital back office assets. But it also will allow you to modernize applications. For example, if you have SuccessFactors and you wanted to create learning management approvals or custom org modeling, if you wanted to do workforce analytics, or you wanted to do health and fitness where you said, hey, can I get health insurance discounts based on how many Fitbit steps I have by integrating it with my SuccessFactors system? how I can have better employee engagement, or how I can actually ensure that any compensation changes are reflected in my payroll system. So we don't go ahead and say the future digital world is one monolithic application. We can start anywhere here and go anywhere. And only SAP brings this end-to-end picture to you, and no cloud platform other than HANA Cloud Platform can bring it to you this way. In this video, we're actually going to talk about IoT and what IoT means, because it's a word that's thrown around a lot. So let's get into what IoT really means, the Internet of Things. When you actually take a look into IoT, there's really only 4 aspects that exist in the world. There's machine to analytic. This means I just want to see what's going on the sensor. This could be my thermostat. I want to know the temperature of my house. This could be how fast my car is going. This could be where Find My iPhone is on the planet. I just want to know what's going on. A lot of different industries just have that. Not necessarily a big data problem, just I want to know where this thing is and what it says. Temperature, pressure, sensor, etc. The next one is machine to machine. This is the idea where 2 machines are talking to each other. And I know people are thinking futuristic, but this has actually been around since the 80s. In the shop floor, you had a belt and you had an arm. The arm broke, the belt stopped, the belt broke, the arm stopped. Been around forever. Now what's different with IoT is this. It's become cheaper. Previously, that was a controlled system with 2 things that were super expensive. Now that the sensors are cheaper and both can be internet connected, you can do it much cheaper. But the side benefit is you could actually have 2 things from 2 different manufacturers work together, meaning your coffee maker can actually be triggered from your alarm clock. Your alarm clock goes off, it starts your coffee maker. Made by 2 separate companies, but guess what? Putting a sensor in each device is like 10 cents each. So it's easy to do, where you're like, well, what's the value of my coffee maker going off? I don't know, it's a little bit easier. Not like game-changing or gonna change the world, but it's just a nice-to-have convenience, and it's cheap enough to do so. We've just made M2M a little bit more scalable overall. The third scenario is what I call machine to data lake. Now this one's fun because you say, okay, the world is generating XYZ more information than it ever has in the past, because there's sensors and everything. And if you don't collect everything, you are completely screwed, because you will never be able to do IoT. This is the way you approach anybody. And you go buy Hadoop and you build a data lake. What problem are you going to solve? Who knows? You just got to collect everything. And then you should hire data scientists to go look at all this information, and they'll find something wrong with your business. It's a fear-oriented sale, machine to data lake. And finally, you have machine to process. This is the scenario I talked about where, hey, part in your washing machine breaks. Can you reorder the part by calling a business process procurement API? Or can you check if it's under warranty? It's just taking action based on some information off a sensor. And regardless of what industry you're in, whether you're sports and entertainment, whether you're automotive, whether you're consumer products, this is it for IoT. You're doing one of these 4 things. And you might have a car that's doing all 4, where you say, hey, how fast is the car going? If the car stops, let me notify another car, interact with the traffic light. Let me collect all the information on the car so I can send it to R&D to build better parts. And by the way, if it gets into an accident, let me have a phone home system. So you have one car that actually is all 4. But when you take a look at the technology, it's not more complicated than this. When you take a look at why you need a cloud platform to solve IoT challenges, it comes back to the technology baggage of I need analytics software, and I need device management software, and I need data streaming software, and I need device management and device data interchange here. And I need a data lake with Hadoop here to connect with devices and sensors and data collection and streaming. And here I need APIs for business processes connecting to machines. You could go ahead and say these are all services in a platform, HANA Cloud Platform. So what you've done is you've made it easy to go ahead and deliver IoT scenarios by leveraging the cloud and the set of services you need to solve any individual problem you have in IoT. And that's why HANA Cloud Platform is unique, because not only do we give you that technology like other IoT platforms, we also have the APIs to take action on information coming off these sensors. Because most enterprise data is sitting in an SAP application. And we have APIs and security from device through back office system with our IoT capabilities. Let's talk about S/4HANA. S/4HANA is the future of all enterprises. And it provides the digital backbone and digital core to power the next generation of digital applications. And it brings digital immigrants into the future. But what you need to do with S/4HANA is understand that there's a few aspects to it. One is the experience. It has a native Fiori consumable user-grade experience. It also allows you, with business process APIs, to create digital and connected applications. For example, one of the scenarios we have in S4 is asset management. And in asset management, this is something that's been around for a while. You have billion-dollar, $100 million pieces of equipment, etc. What happens with the valuation of that equipment? You got to keep it on your books. You depreciate it over 7-year cycles, 3-year cycles. It's as boring as most financial transactions have been because it hasn't changed in 50 years. But now you have the ability, with sensors on your assets, to go ahead and do digital asset valuation, where you could say, let me depreciate these assets based on the utilization of those assets. And if those assets aren't leveraged, let me write them off, freeing up billions of dollars of capital in the world's economy. This is the value of modernization and digitalization. Now, you could take a look at that modernization of asset management, and you could take a look at the integration that needs to happen between S4 Digital Core and third-party applications, third-party data, other systems, whether it be like Ariba procurement systems, etc., or our SuccessFactors HR systems. What we do is we provide integration capabilities. We provide APIs where customers can create their own experiences, not just our Fiori-based applications, but you can create an app for a sales rep connecting to any of your systems, including S4. So between APIs to create your own custom Fiori experiences and the tooling to do so, and with the integration capabilities that allow you to interact with third party, and the API capabilities that allow you to interact with sensors and IoT and devices, what are all these capabilities we're talking about? They're all HANA Cloud Platform capabilities that provide extensibility to S4. And what it does is it lets you take this application and create extended processes across your entire enterprise such that it fits into your landscape better. It allows you to modernize by connecting to sensors and devices. It allows you to modernize with your experience. And finally, with the digital boardroom, it allows you to get smarter in terms of how you do analytics and run your business, and eventually make recommendations. This is what we talk about with the digital enterprise, and this is what the future of S/4HANA plus HCP brings to you.